By name, my name is Haikaeli Gilliard. I'm a pharmacist, but today we're not going to be talking. Let's regurgitate some of the facts. As they have stated earlier, Vanessa, and people have been saying it over and over, the sub-Saharan Africa is boosting, it having a high number of female-led businesses and female entrepreneurs. But still in all of that, we are lagging behind. We have few women who are in tech businesses. So today we have these two women, one from Ups and Down, one from Nigeria, and they're going to be sharing to us their story about innovation and tech and how they're doing and how they come to be what they are. So I'll give them 2 minutes to tell us briefly who they are, what they do, and then we can dive into the questions.
Good afternoon. My name is Doreen Michael. I'm here representing Ups and Girls on behalf of the founders Caroline Ekhiya and William Odo. Ups and Girls is a social, tech-driven enterprise that works at empowering young ladies and women on how to build their own world where they want to live in through technology. And through this, we have several programs where we use in order to, as tools to reach these young women. For instance, we have coding clubs in schools. We've reached several schools in Dar es Salaam and across Tanzania, where we teach them about ICT and entrepreneurship. And also we have several competitions, like the Girls Entrepreneurship Summit, which is being held annually every year on October or November, and they get to develop their own tech startups. Apart from that, also, we recently have 2 new programs. One is called the Jovia program, whereby Ups and Girls helps the unprivileged young women who weren't able to proceed with their college or they dropped out of school. So they give them entrepreneurship and also ICT skills in order for them to be competent out there and be able to market themselves and get jobs somewhere else or employ themselves. And also we have the ADA program. The ADA program is for skill development program, whereby we teach women and young ladies on artificial intelligence, software development, and soft skills concerning ICT. Thank you.
That's a hard pitch to follow. So my name is Lilian Madeje. I am the founder for Nigeria Platform, an employability skills platform that started in 2017. I co-founded a training and consulting company in 2014 with another formidable woman. And that has been working within the space of SMEs and empowering different businesses to start and grow and scale. And in 2016, again, with a partnership with another awesome woman, Zuena Farah, we started an innovation and technology forum that happens annually, and it's called Bits and Bytes. And we had actually the pleasure of working within 2016 with Apps and Girls and you know, in terms of coding and coming up with a solution around the space of visualization for data for Twaweza. So that's kind of like what I do and what I'm hoping.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. As we see, we have very amazing ladies. But when we were talking before, when we were talking about tech, most of people, we see men in tech industry. This is kind of like a male-dominated industry. So how did you navigate it through? Like, did it make any difference that you were female? And if you had any challenges, would you tell us? Because I feel like there will be many women out there, they want to join the tech industry, but maybe they are scared or something.
So I'll start. I took PCB, and I'm starting from that in the sense that if you look at STEM studies in one way or another, you still do not have as many women or as many girls taking such. So then that's the same narrative that's coming out into the innovation and the tech space, that you still have more male because they're already there. So women are coming up, and I think with initiatives such as Apps and Girls, with more women like Lilian, McCoy, who spoke earlier, who people can look up to, and have more platforms such as Bits and Bytes, Sahara Ventures, whereby different women are coming into different spaces to actually be inspired and know that you can do it. Hubs such as Ndoto Hub that are specifically looking at how women can be empowered. It's through those spaces and actually women supporting women that we can continue slowly but surely scaling up and having more representatives in the space. But
I think she answered most of the question, but on the challenges part, as on starting Apps and Girls, honestly, it wasn't easy because young ladies and girls had already like built an assumption that STEM is not for ladies. So if you're going there and like introducing something like this to them, of course at first they'll be resistant a bit, but through passion, I believe everything, if you have passion in anything, everything is possible. So through the passion that the girls have and the motivation that we provide as Apps and Girls, it was easy to like overcome the tempests and the troubles of like motivating them to join in STEM, but eventually we did it. So we have like a lot of girls. Apps and Girls have reached more than 5,000 girls across Tanzania, of which is a great success.
Wow, let's clap hands for them. Oh, that's very nice. So we said earlier that some of the startups founded by women, they're failing because maybe they're lacking financial support, or they don't have support, like what you said, that you need mentors, you need people that, women supporting other women. So like when you were starting up your idea, like how did you get your funds? Like who did you go to, like from ideation to actually making Niajiri a reality? Like how did it go like?
So I started with net worth. I didn't start with money in one sense or another. And it's actually through, and I say this, I quit my job, I resigned, I didn't quit, and I started consulting. And my first consulting job was actually somebody who supported me, or somebody working within the space of innovation and technology. And I was able to get a gig, and from that, I was able now to start tapping into my social capital. And from then, I was able to get different people buying my services, because I started as a consultant. And so, started Ekhiya from that aspect, that I didn't have money in the bank. It was literally starting with, I'm passionate and really standing strong and being persevering and being persistent in the idea that I had. So for the first time ever, last year, June 2018, is the first time that I actually, you can say, applied for a grant and secured a grant, but I had been in operation from 2014. And that was just literally bootstrapping, they call it, and being able to sell your product or service. And I think what Salum in the morning was speaking about in J4 was just the fact that sometimes we have great business ideas and we somehow get stuck in that we need to have the money. The money is a big thing. Yes, we're not disputing that it is not a big thing, but you need more to work on that business idea and make it scalable. Even right now as Niajiri platform, I'm challenging myself. I think a month ago, I'd been like, I'm looking for an investor and a VC and all of this. Really great. But the reality of the matter is I have to prove this business model of Niajiri to people so that the investors, they come to me instead of you going out to them. And so I think early in the morning when I was questioning Sarah and going back on the unit cost, and these are things that we have to think about. It's really not about you have a business idea. It's about, is that business idea scalable? Is that business idea sustainable? Is that business idea, it's a business idea, biashara, ko italeta hela. Like, those are the things that you really have to think about at the end of the day. It might be an awesome idea, but if it does not bring in the money, you will not get an investor, you will not get a VC, you'll not even get a customer, actually, at the end of the day. So that's why it has to come back to the fundamental. Whether you're a woman or not a woman, there's some basics, I think, that were spoken about that we just need to have correct within our businesses.
Wow, thank you. Okay, and adding on that, I was reading a certain article and they said that there was this innovator who founded what they called the play pumps. Those pumps were pumping water underworld water, and they were received very well, but it turned out later that it was a great initiative, but it was very hard to fix those pumps when they get broken down. And another thing they found out that with those pumps, the children have to play 27 hours to actually pump enough water. So like when she was saying about bringing an impact, like being able to be scalable, she really touched me there. And going back to you, Doreen, you said about all these ladies you are reaching, the one that dropped out from school. So how do you reach them? Like, do you go in the streets? Like, how do you get them? Like, do they come to you?
Okay, so on our part in reaching these ladies, we most of the time provide like links on social medias, but also like we tunatuma tangazo, you know? Yes, like we advertise what like the program that we want to provide to them. So then it not only in rural areas, but also in urban areas. So they reach us, we provide numbers, we provide emails. So they reach to us through their relatives, their friends, their families. Yes, and from there, we start with the programs.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask my two panelists one final question, then I'm gonna ask questions from you, audience. My question is, seeing the mission you have, would you tell us a little bit about your mission and what are the measures of your success and what do you see this initiative in 5 years to come? And that is pretty much it. Like, you tell us your mission versus what you're using to measure your own success, and where do you see Niajiri in 5 years? Where do you see Absent Girls in 5 years?
Okay, so as wearing the hat of Niajiri platform, where I see Niajiri in 5 years is actually scaled across Africa. In 3 years, I'm going to be across East Africa. And so the measures of success for Niajiri is the impact that we have on entry-level talent. So we are looking at talent in its totality, but the passion that I had with actually starting Niajiri was looking at how we can bridge the gap between employability. Guys were coming out of graduate school and guys were securing jobs or being able to be self-employed. So my measure of success is actually impact that our Niajiri platform would have with Tanzanians and African youth across.
So our mission as Absent Girls is to provide these tools of technology to young girls and women to be able to provide them with entrepreneurship, leadership skills, for them to be able to depend on themselves and start their own startups and not be dependent anymore, but independent women out there. And the level of success or the measure of success that we measure is also the impact that we have generated on the lives of these young ladies and women, but also the gap that existed between men and women in STEM and in matters of technology, like how far we have contributed to making sure that we bridge that gap in the measure of our success. And so far we can say that we are successful from the impact that we have on these young girls, on the startups and tech startups that we have in Absent Girls, and also on the passion that our founders have and like the energy and power that they put on us as their mentees. That's how we measure the level of success of Absent Girls.
Wow. Okay. So we're going to welcome questions from the audience. Maybe just 3 questions.
My question goes to Lilian. Lilian, in your venture as a founder, have you ever gotten to a point where you wanted to throw in the towel, or where you started wondering if you should bring in a co-founder? From the pictures this morning, teams, people have very large founding teams. You have 5 co-founders. Ekhiya is run by literally one founder, even though you do have co-founders, but you're the one who's really putting in the sweat. And the same goes for Nigeria, actually. But what do you think about, the necessity of a startup having to have co-founders in order for it to succeed? And for you to actually be able to scale across Africa, do you think you need to invest in a C-level founding team that will be able to scale it that way? And what are your plans to do the same?
Right. So have I ever gotten to a point where I want to throw in the towel? I think as any entrepreneur, that's just like something that we go through. But we do not do that because we have a greater passion or mission with whatever it is we're doing. So for scaling, I've reached that point whereby I know for us to go to that next level, to go across Tanzania, to go across East Africa, it's about building the team and actually securing a team that will actually get us to that level. So I'm at that point right now whereby, how am I going about it? It's having a, I was going to say Kick-Ass board of advisor right now. That's what has been able to get me or to get us to this point, both as Nigeria, even as Ekhiya. Is that I surround myself constantly with a board of advisors that actually help us, and not necessarily that they're based in Tanzania. I think just this Friday, I had a call with one of my board of advisors who's based in UK, because he has a different set of thinking. I'm thinking Africa, so they're able to actually help me think through that aspect. Training, scaling, investing in a C-suite. I do know for a fact that the fact that we want to scale, we have to invest in actually having a management team that can actually take us to that next level. So co-founder, having a team, because otherwise you burn out. Having a team that you can actually support each other in thinking, in brainstorming, in envisioning, in actually now putting in the hard work is something that is important and is something that can help to lighten the load in individual founders. So in some of us, as we're founding, these are things that you really think about, like what is everybody bringing into the team? Like, you're just not coming to sell face. We're all coming in to put in hard work. So what is your skill set that you're bringing into the team at the end of the day?
According to the theme for women, the future of women and innovation and technology, I'm drawn to the innovation context because I come from a background where I work with young people who are innovators, social innovators. But in terms of taking off, for females, it's a bit of a challenge. 2 weeks ago, I received a consult from our headquarters saying, there's a survey that we need to do for the females who somehow seem to be slowing down in the program. And looking at the survey, I was struck because I said, the things that you're listing there, that's clearly not a problem for females around here, unless I'm mistaken. But from what I know is that most of the female businesses that come up are very communal, from what I've seen. So they'll want to start up what is it? No. It's a social enterprise, but quite communal, not fast-paced for making money, like creating an app and whatever. We're seeking to solve problems, real problems, which kind of a bit, I think, takes time to nurture out, and then with the pressure, females seem to either slow down, lose hope, or drop everything altogether, or stay quiet until a later time. And I think it's because of the frustration of it's not bringing in money too fast, but I'm so invested in seeing it grow because we nurture by nature. But for the innovations that have come up from young men are mostly like, let's start up Jumia and connect food from point A to point B, or a travel agency, or let's do things very fast, and this is my model, and I'll make money within a month's time. And so they keep themselves afloat. I'm wondering if you've seen a difference in the types of innovations that come out of females vis-a-vis for males, and are we heading there? What is stopping us? What is curtailing all that shift that we need to be looking into? Because we are very few of us doing that. Yeah.
Okay. So have I seen some of those innovations? I think I'll kind of like talk about apps and girls, because in a sense, if you look at Caroline's vision in starting, again, it's kind of like that whole communal, but again, technology enhanced to get to where they are right now. Yeah, to get to where they are right now. And so I guess I'm trying to get your question. Your question is, how do we now support the fact that as women, we tend to design business ideas that are not necessarily as fast in turning into a profit compared to our male counterparts who will think more about connecting A, B, and C, and that actually churns it much more. Maybe that's where the case for, no, not that's where, but that is where the case for having platforms such as this, that's where the case of having DOT, that's where the case for having guys like Rise Up, because these are all platforms that help to give support, that people actually get to know that yes, it will take a longer time, but being able to sustain them and tell them that they can still keep onto that fight and that there will be a turning point. But still, unfortunately, we're still tagged with the fact that it has to be a business. So ndo kuangalia ni jinsi gani ambavyo tunaweza tukajenga biashara socially, yes, but sustainable, so that tuweze kuleta maendeleo pia kwa aina moja ama nyingine.
Okay, thank you for the questions. We're going to sum it up. Please, guys. Yes, we're going to sum it up. Just say something that all of us can take home with. Just something small, maybe a line or so we can just conclude everything. Maybe, Doreen, you should go. Maybe she takes a break.
Okay, so one thing that I personally would like everyone to live with is that it doesn't matter the circumstances that one is under or the circumstances that you're going through in life. Whether you're young or you're old, whether you have money or you're poor, as long as you have your idea, as long as you believe in yourself, and as long as you have passion for what you believe, everything is possible. I am only 17. I may look young in your eyes, but it doesn't mean that I have a young mindset. My fellow at Absent Girls are literally teens from 15 to 18, but what they do is they do amazing things. So what I believe is that as long as you have that passion and you have an idea and set your mindset on something, you can achieve your goals always.
So for mine, it's simple. Surround yourself, first of all, put yourself in uncomfortable situations forever and ever, and surround yourself with a formidable group of friends and families that always challenge your thinking and get you to go to that next level and challenge your thinking and rethinking at every point in time. Yes.
Okay, that is it, guys. A round of applause for our panelists. Thank you so much.
Yes, bring it out, bring it out. Woo! Thank you very much. That was a very interesting panel.